Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn your post notifications so you don't miss any of our new videos. And now let's get right into it. Princess Lila was bored of her life in the palace. She longed for adventure and romance, something that her arranged marriage to Prince Roderick could not offer. She secretly read books and maps about the exotic lands beyond the sea, dreaming of one day exploring them herself. One night, she decided to sneak out of the palace and board a ship that was leaving for the New World. She disguised herself as a boy and managed to find a spot among the crew. She hoped that no one would recognize her or question her identity. However, she soon realized that the ship she had chosen was not a merchant vessel, but a pirate ship. The captain was a notorious rogue named Jack Sparrow, who had a reputation for plundering and pillaging every port he visited. He was also known for his charm and charisma, which he used to seduce many women along the way. Lila was terrified when she discovered the truth, but she had no choice but to stay on board. She tried to keep a low profile and avoid attracting attention, but it was not easy. She had to work hard, endure harsh conditions, and witness violence and cruelty. She also had to deal with the unwanted advances of some of the crew members, who did not believe her claim that she was a boy. She soon caught the eye of Jack Sparrow, who sensed that there was something different about her. He was intrigued by her intelligence, courage, and beauty, which he could see through her disguise. He decided to make her his personal cabin boy and began to flirt with her and tease her. He also tried to protect her from the other pirates, who grew suspicious and jealous of her. Lila was conflicted by her feelings for Jack. She hated him for being a pirate and a criminal, but she also admired him for being a leader and an adventurer. She felt a strong attraction and curiosity towards him, but she also feared him and his intentions. She knew that he would not hesitate to betray her or use her if he found out who she really was. As they sailed across the ocean, they faced many dangers and challenges. They encountered storms, sharks, enemy ships, and hostile natives. They also found treasure, secrets, and wonders. They shared moments of laughter, anger, passion, and tenderness. They learned more about each other and themselves. They also developed a deep and complex relationship, which neither of them expected or understood. They were both rebels and dreamers, who wanted more than what their lives had given them. They were both lonely and misunderstood, who found comfort and companionship in each other. They were both lovers and enemies, who could not trust or resist each other. The growing tension and attraction between Lila and Jack could come to a head during a dangerous storm at sea. With the ship being battered by wind and waves, they find themselves alone together as the rest of the crew battles to save the ship. A passionate embrace leads to their feelings boiling over, but they know it can lead nowhere good. Meanwhile, Lila's identity is at increasing risk of being discovered as the voyage drags on. One of the more suspicious crew members could grow determined to uncover her secret. This forces Lila into a tricky situation where she must outwit her interrogator to protect herself. When the pirates make their next port, Lila sees a chance to slip away unnoticed and return home. But her feelings for Jack and the thrill of the open seas give her pause. Does she reclaim her life of luxury or keep living on the edge with the man who steals her heart? That night, a fierce storm descended upon the pirate ship. Towering waves crashed over the deck as howling winds threatened to tear the sails from the masts. The crew battled valiantly to keep the foundering vessel afloat, but it was a losing battle. In the chaos, Lila was thrown from her hammock by an errant crate. She hit her head and fell unconscious amid the churning floodwaters, now filling the hold. When she came to, she found herself alone with Jack in his private quarters. "Easy now, lass. You took quite a knock," said Jack, as he tended her wound by lamplight. His touch sent shivers through her, yet she dared not meet his roguish gaze. Once assured of her recovery, Jack poured them each a swig of rum. A storm like this makes a man reconsider his place in the world. What drives a princess so far from home, I wonder? Lila knew her secret was out, but saw only kindness in Jack's eyes. She told him then of her desire for adventure beyond the gilded cage she was born into. Jack understood all too well what it meant to be shackled by life's circumstances. As the storm raged on outside, something stirred within. Their lips met in a fiery kiss, hands roaming with a will of their own. Clothing was cast aside, as passions long denied were at last set free. That night, amid the churning deep, a princess was reborn, and found her match in the roguish pirate captain who stole her heart. In the morning light, what new challenges might await the unlikely lovers? And how long can Lila's true identity remain hidden from the suspicious eyes of the crew? The next morning, Lila awoke in Jack's arms with a whirlwind of emotions. While she felt a sense of freedom and passion, unlike anything before, hiding such a secret aboard the pirate ship would surely lead to trouble. As the crew set about repairs from the storm, Lila spied one of the men eyeing her suspiciously. It was Garrick, the first mate, a brutish thug who had made unwanted advances in the past. She shuddered to think what he might do if her true identity was revealed. Lila confided her fears to Jack, who reassured her that no harm would come so long as she had his protection. But danger was unavoidable on the open seas. That evening, as Lila helped the cook prepare a meal below deck, Garrick accosted her in the shadows. "I know you're hiding something, boy. Best tell old Garrick what it is before I have to cut it out of ye," he growled, pinning her against the wall. Lila struggled desperately, but Garrick's grip was like iron. Just then, Jack appeared with a dagger drawn. "Unhand the lad, unless you want to lose that grimy paw." Garrick backed away, snarling, but the threat was clear. Lila knew she couldn't endure such peril much longer without revealing her identity to the whole crew. But how could she and Jack ensure their love wasn't doomed before it had truly begun? Here is my take on how the story of Princess Lila and Captain Jack could end. With Garrick's sinister threat hanging over them, Lila knew she could no longer hide aboard the pirate ship. But running away and returning home was not an option either. For her heart now belonged to the sea. After much contemplation, she realized there was only one path that could secure both her safety and future with Jack. That evening, as the crew gathered in the mess, Lila stood before them with Jack at her side. "I have hidden the truth for too long," she announced. "I am no simple cabin boy, but a princess who came seeking adventure beyond my palace walls." Gasps and murmurs spread throughout the men. Garrick sneered, reaching for his cutlass, but Jack held up a hand. "And as your captain, I say any man who means to do the princess harm will answer to me." In that moment, Lila boldly took Jack's face in her hands and kissed him passionately, no longer caring who saw their love. The crew erupted in hoots and hollers, accepting the couple despite their stations. All except Garrick, who lunged at Lila with a guttural cry. Jack parried Garrick's blade and drove his own into the mutineer's heart. With his last breath, Garrick cursed them both. The threat was over, but Lila knew she could never return to her old life. That night, under the stars, Jack asked her to be his pirate queen. And so, Princess Lila traded her gilded cage for a life of adventure on the open seas. Though dangers would always stalk the horizon, her bond with the roguish captain who stole her heart gave her a freedom and joy she never dreamed possible. From that day forth, their ship sailed the waters as a symbol of hope, that anyone can choose to write their own destiny, regardless of title or rank.